What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined, as always, by Danny Code DC, UPenn's finest, Chris Coacher, CB Coach Boy. We have another great episode for you guys today. The first round, while not finished, is starting to wind down. We have 3 series done in the West, 1 series done in the East, so we have half of the first round completed. We're going to grade each of these first round playoff series. Obviously, not all of them are over. We have the Sixers taking the Celtics to a Game 7 after being down 3-1. We have the Rockets taking the Lakers to a Game 6 after being down 3-0. Cavs are up 3-2 on the Raptors. What else am I missing? And then the Pistons are down 2-3 to the Orlando Magic in that 1-8 matchup. But we'll still talk about it all. Half of these series are done. Half of these series are not. Let's see how it plays out. But before we get started, make sure we leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Audio listeners, leave a like, 5-star review, download the episode. Guys, let's just get right into – we're going to start in the West. We're going to start with some of the series that are done over there. Let's start with the Thunder versus the Suns. And now, however you want to grade it is up to you. I'm grading it based off of what my expectation for the series was and whether I like that or not. So that's just kind of where my criteria stands. If yours stands for something else, if yours is purely, I want it to be the best series ever and it didn't live up to that, so this gets an F, then so be it. That's y'all grade. I'm just telling y'all how I'm grading mine.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I think I'll start the Thunder games, albeit you see the Thunder and they were like, oh yeah, they're gonna win 4, but like there was a little chippiness, there was some rivalry. The games were actually played. Look, the Thunder might have been up 8 to 10 points at all points of the game, every game, but they were playing with intensity from the side of the Suns. Uh, they just were outclassed. They didn't have the talent to compete with the Oklahoma City Thunder. So I'm going to give it a B. And overall, like it met my expectations. We knew the Thunder were sweeping. We knew that the Suns had no match for Oklahoma City. But the reality is, like, this is setting up for prime time for Devin Booker to be shipped off in the offseason, I think.
You and
They need
this
to tear it
weird
down.
Devin Booker being shipped off thing, bro. I'm not allowing it.
I think it's just
Because we saw what happened to Damian Lillard. He thought grass was greener. He went somewhere else, and he busted his Achilles.
I think
And his teams were mid.
I think it's the verbiage, though.
Stop. Don't put that ill will on Devin Booker. We're retiring as the greatest Phoenix Sun to ever do it.
And Devin Booker won't be shipped. He would have to ask. He ain't sliding.
Yeah, bro. They not trading. They not trading no Devin Booker.
Shipping him
he would
out.
have to ask for trade. And I don't think he will, to be honest. Honestly, I think after what's happened with like the Bradley Beal thing, the Damian Lillard thing, I think he's content.
Have y'all seen his house?
Very nice place to live. You can cook eggs on the street in the summer.
I'm not moving from the back cave. Have y'all seen that? He has a literal back cave.
Dude, I watch Devin Booker house tour at least once a month, dude.
Bro, it's so good, and it's the black decor is what makes it so fun. I don't care if we lose every game. I'm not moving. I don't care.
Yeah, that house is crazy.
Sign me up. When's training camp start? I'll go next. Make it quick. I grade the series as a C, just because I think it's just you kind of knew what was. I think like Danny said, you kind of knew what was going to happen going into it. They just didn't really have a chance. But like they literally didn't win in any category as far as just eye test stacking up team to team. It just didn't have any advantages. So I feel like it went how it was supposed to go. I wasn't even expecting more of a fight. I think they just didn't have enough, because the thing about the Thunder, they can send waves at you. And the first wave for the Suns isn't even enough really for the second wave of the Thunder. So, it just was outmatched. But a good season overall by the Suns. I feel like you didn't think that would happen. So I think overall the Suns had a good season. But yeah, they just were highly, highly overmatched. Either way they went, first or second, after the play-in, they were kind of cooked. So I think we kind of got what we knew.
Yeah, I gave it a C+. C was kind of like if it met my expectations, and then I'll say C is, did you meet my expectations, and then we go from there. I gave it a C+. Dylan Brooks played awesome, so that was fun. Him and Shea having that little Canadian rivalry there was, I guess, something to look at. They gave you like little spurts, but again, overall 4-game sweep. What in the world? Sorry, I heard a call incoming on my headphones, but I already hung up on my phone. So anyway, let's go to this next one, since we all pretty much have the same kind of rating on this one here. Timberwolves versus Nuggets. The Timberwolves did take down the Nuggets last night to complete the series 4-2. This last game was without Anthony Edwards, who they'll be without for a little bit of time. Obviously, Dante DiVincenzo is out for the remainder of the playoffs, and Ayo Dosunmu missed last night's game last second with the calf soreness. So it was all on Jaden McDaniels, Terrence Shannon Jr., Bones Highland, Rudy Gobert. They were able to makeshift a win.
Yeah, they definitely did not have KD out there. They had Jaden McDaniels.
Yes, they did. Yeah, I'll give my grade first since I went last on the other one. I'm torn between two ways because I want to say like a big upset. The Wolves were dominant. This was crazy, but like maybe I didn't get to see as much Anthony Edwards as I would have liked, but I won't let that deteriorate from what the Wolves did. I'm still going to give this series an A. The Wolves really punched the Nuggets in the mouth when we fully were expecting like 7 games of this, and every game's going to be close. It's going to be like the Jokic Murray show and all that, but it was none of that. Jokic probably played his worst playoff series in his prime. Jamal Murray did not play great either. He was pretty bad. And then the Wolves, yeah, that first game without Ant-Man, and you were just going into it with Julius Randle, number 1 option hoops, they lose that one. And you could have easily seen it from the perspective, here come the Nuggets, they're going to win after all these injuries. But it was more so that kind of win when a team is down 3-1, they get back home, they steal one, and then they have to go back on the road and win another one. The Wolves, they didn't let that happen. Jaden McDaniels took everything into his hands entirely. I want to see like Terrence Shannon Jr., 24 points. Like, that's huge. That's a guy who, you know, his minutes have always been relatively spotty. Yeah, like 5 days ago he got 7 minutes. So and he's been getting DMPs as well. So like that's a huge step up from him.
He's a
I wish they were
he's
healthy
a
for next
scorer,
round.
though.
Yeah, Terrence Shannon Jr. is a scorer for sure. And in a game like this where it was like, okay, we're down Ant, we're down Ayo, we're probably down like our 2 best scorers in these playoffs to this point. Terrence Shannon Jr. was able to help fill out that role. Even Jaden McDaniels was able to fill out his role, and the defense doesn't take a drop. So, yeah, they didn't play with their food. They didn't let it go back to Denver. Very proud of them. They should move on. I'm just going to be highly upset because they will get destroyed by the Spurs. But shout out to them, though. Maybe that playoff experience gives the Spurs a run for their money. Who knows?
They might. I agree. I think I'm going to give that a B plus in my book. I personally think that this is the punch in the mouth that we should almost expect every year. We might need to start thinking of the Nuggets 1 year of championship and that one deep run they made as almost an anomaly. They only had that one deep run, and otherwise they've been first round, second round, first round, second round. So they're not as good as we thought they were, and I don't know. Look, they're fun in the playoffs, and they keep a lot of games close, and the series are great, but they haven't really made much noise outside of that one deep run, which they were.
Well, timeout, because I think you're now trying to downplay a championship in an era where we have not seen back-to-back winners since the KD Warriors. Is everyone an anomaly?
No, I'm just saying like they haven't made a deep run. Like Boston's been in the conference championship.
Did you know that the last, I believe, 8 NBA champions have not the following year did not make it back to the conference finals? Didn't make it past the second round. Every single NBA winner for the last 8 years did not make it back to the conference finals. That's not a Nuggets thing. That's an everybody thing. The Thunder are the true anomaly of the group in a good way. I dare them to lose to some Los Angeles Lakers or Rockets, but it's not going to happen. Maybe it does. We also said last year that the Knicks stood no chance against the Celtics, so who knows? But We ain't about to do this revisionist history on 2023 Jokic. That dude was a dog.
But that season was great. I'm saying that season was
Well,
amazing.
he has like 3 or 4 great seasons to his name. 5, really. All this series does is give Saudi and Embiid fans to come out the woodworks and be like, see, we told you this guy wasn't that good. Well, the bad thing is that while he's not playing great, your guy's also not playing that good either. So, too little, too late.
I'm not using this to compare Embiid and Jokic.
Yes, you are, son.
When did I mention Embiid once? You did.
I know what you're doing. I'm not dumb. The only people that really come at Jokic are Embiid fans.
I didn't come at Jokic.
Jokic had a rough series, and that is what it is. But now you're trying to put his ring on the diamond test. You're trying to put them as a team in this, like, besides their glorious NBA title, they suck, actually. That makes no sense. You could look at every championship team and what they've done in the span of a couple years and see why they did not accomplish what they accomplished. Anyway, Chris, what'd you have for this series?
I think I had it as an A. 'Cause I think it's good for all sides of basketball. I think it had a little element of all the sports that we like in it. Underdog-ish story at the end after Anthony Edwards and Dante DiVincenzo was injured. I know they were the lower seeded. Yeah, they were lower seeded anyway.
Yeah, they were 6 seed.
Yeah, so them like still staying together and winning, I think that was big. I think it was important to see that Terrence Shannon, Chicago kid, by the way, finally gets a chance. I think him and Cam Whitmore are similar body types, but I think Terrence Shannon is more what people thought Cam Whitmore would be at this point, being able to go be a microwave scorer at any point in time. And it's just, to Chris Finch's defense, it hasn't been needed as much because they have scoring on the wings for the most part. So it was cool to see him get a chance. I mean, he could be used as a trade piece. He could be used as a bench piece next year. So many things can open up just off a good playoff run, as we've seen before. I watched Bismack Biyombo get $80 million off of averaging 11 rebounds in one playoff run. So it could be a lot for that. But I thought it was really cool. I think it was good for the Nuggets too, because I think they needed to make changes, bigger changes, and I think this is something that could force that. They needed Peyton Watson more than they needed Bruce Brown. I know that Bruce Brown's healthy, Peyton Watson wasn't, but not having Aaron Gordon, like it's a lot that they could take away from it in a good way, but also there's some things they can go back to the drawing board for. So I think it was a series. You got a little bit of everything. Most of the games were close, even if they weren't close throughout, like wire to wire, they were close. So I thought it was really good. I think they have a decent chance against the Spurs. Moving on, I'm not picking them to win, but I think they have a decent chance to get a couple games. Just any team that plays physical enough, you can always be in it. And if you use Jalen Hart to get Stephon Castle out the game, he'll go grab his jersey. Then they both can sit down, and then now you have an advantage. But I think it'll be a good series. But overall, I thought this series was really cool. Showed a lot of good basketball.
Yes, sadly, that theory of like taking someone else out the game and playing 4-on-4 has not been proven pivotal. As Amin has had games where, or not Amin, Asar has had games where he has been there have been stretches of games where he just can't play, and then Dyson Daniels. Oh my gosh, man! They say you lock him. They said you lock him in a gym overnight, and he would score more buckets going to the bathroom than shooting shots. It's oh, he's bad. But maybe that is the case.
You know what's crazy about Asar and Amin? Like Amin actually has a pretty decent 15-footer. Like he shoots that little two very well. Asar Thompson shoots it, but he just doesn't make it at a decent clip. Dyson Daniels won't even shoot it. Like he won't even shoot. Like you have it's like levels. Daniels won't shoot. Asar will shoot and miss it. Amin makes it a decent amount. I think Amin will be the one that gets the best jumper out of those threes because I think he has he
also gets the most reps, probably is the highest usage rate of the threes. That'll also lead to it.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's talk about the Spurs and Blazers matchup, where the Spurs won in 5 games. You could guess it could have been a sweep if Wemby was able to play the rest of that game too, but that's not how the cookie crumbles. Chris, we'll start with you on this one. What was your grade for San Antonio versus Portland?
I think it was an A series. Even though some of the games weren't as highly contested. I think it was just a good series of good basketball. One thing my friend said that Portland had the wing defenders to kind of bother the Spurs, and it happened from time to time. But this is a point that Austin Rivers made the other day. Everybody can't be 3-and-D. It can't be. You can't have 4 3-and-D players out there in one create. It's not going to work against actual good teams. So I think that's what showed up. So I think that's like a thing to NBA because everybody says, oh, we want 2 stars and get 3-and-D players. Like, nah. Because Thibault can't be out there with Kamara and all these. Like, you can't have 3 or 4 of those guys out there. Because, yeah, you'll be able to get stops, but when are you going to be able to score? So I think it showed a lot of what's good in the NBA today because the Spurs have offense and defense. Blazers have pretty good defense, one creator, but they, when they get up and down, they're good. So I think that series and the Timberwolves Nuggets series was just good for basketball, especially if you're like a hater of modern basketball. I think those were good representations of it, of what we get when we get the top of the line or good high quality high level basketball in 2026.
Can you believe there were real human beings thinking that Victor Wembanyama would be a playoff dropper? Dude who gives his all on defense, is relatively unstoppable on offense when he decides to just use the throw it to the moon method. And then he also, over the last couple months, has been just a lights out shooter. So that was just a funny little gimmick that people were going with. I'll go A as well. Maybe it wasn't the most competitive series, but there were games where, like, game 1, the Blazers started to kind of creep back into it. So the Spurs had to put them away. The Blazers obviously got that win. The first 2 games, we got that scoot mini highlight series of maybe what could be for next year. But game 3, the Spurs got a big win without Vic. And then in game 4, they came back down from like 19 points or whatever, and they ended up winning by 20. It was a huge, damn near 40-point swing. So, yeah, it was awesome. Vic was incredible. You had different games from pretty much each of the Spurs. Like, it was Vic doing his thing the whole series, Castle doing his whole thing, his thing the whole series. Then Fox had a game. Harper had a game. Devin Vassell was solid throughout. So that was pretty fun. And the Blazers, you have things to look forward to. I really hope that they don't disrespect Tiago Splitter again and give him a real NBA coach contract. But if they don't and they got to go with a new head coach, it kind of feels like you're almost restarting the rebuild in a way. Not all the way, obviously, but like it feels like the progress from this year is like, I don't know, maybe it doesn't mean as much. That could just be like sentimental talking because I think Tiago Splitter deserves a job. But yeah, I'll go with the A.
Really,
Danny, what about you? Oh, go ahead, Chris.
I actually think Tiago Splitter can't coach at all. I think he does not need to coach. And it's the only reason I said that. I'm a Tiago guy. I like Tiago from the Spurs. He doesn't make any adjustments. He didn't adjust anything first of all, in the whole series. And second of all, he went 12 deep in the closeout game for people who didn't play the whole game before that. I think he needs a couple more years to be an assistant, like a high level assistant, though.
I think a year of being effectively the head coach is as good as a couple years as an assistant. I'll say this, though. Okay, going that deep into the bench, that's crazy. But do you pin the lack of adjustments on how do you adjust to that? How do you adjust to Victor Wembanyama?
I don't think it was adjusting to Victor. That wasn't the thing. Because I think Rob Will and Klingon did enough. Like, yeah, he got his numbers some games, but I think they did enough.
Rob Will stock all the way back up after this series, man.
And my only thing is, I think the difference was, like, you need to play tougher. City Sissoko should have been playing earlier. Keldon Johnson and City would have matched that. I think he didn't match up with what the Spurs adjustments were because the Spurs adjustments were playing a little tougher. Yes. The Spurs adjustment was also to play that 3 guards a little bit more often. And he was still out there with Scoot, Thibault, Kamara, or Drew Scoot, like match up with it. If they're gonna,
he ran a lot of defensive minded lineups that didn't provide a lot of offense.
Yeah, and the only thing is, like, if it would have, if Scoot was going every game, or if he was like a reliable guy, if it wasn't like a breakout for him, then I'm with that. You know what I mean? I'm with that, playing more defense because you have to be able to score though. Like, yeah, the Spurs lock up, yes, but they scored too. In a half court and in the open court. So that's my only thing. And when I say as an assistant, it's like Tiago kind of got thrown into this, I feel like, by Gamble and Billups. So I feel like if Tiago goes to a real organization. Like if you went back to the Spurs for a year and saw some of those, a lot of late game, close game adjustment, I think then he'd be better off for it. I think he's a good motivator. I just think as far as X's and O's when they got like down to nitty gritty type stuff, he kind of looked a little shaky. But it could have been first year.
He did call out that one play. He was like, they're gonna run a pin down for Wemby. He's gonna come off of that. He's just gonna come right through the lane. The only problem is that Wemby is just better at basketball than a lot of people, believe it or not. The 7'5" demigod with the handle and is the greatest defender of all time is good at basketball. Danny, what'd you grade this series?
I got an A-. I think the games were great. The box score might not show it. The actual scoreboards might not show it, but these were some actually like great basketball games. They had high swings. Like Chris said, there was no adjustments made. It felt like once the Spurs got that groove down, it was over. I will say there was a little bit of hope when Wemby was out for this like 2 games. Yeah, oh, we could maybe, and then they're like, nah, shut it down. The Spurs were like, wait, we got this.
They said, Wemby, we're good. Luke Cornette's here.
And they was like, oh, yeah, they got a chance. I'm like, I don't know if people watched during the season, but they were decent without Wemby. Like they were actually better than decent without
I think they said on the broadcast they were like 20-5 without him or,
yes,
or something like that.
So I never thought that. I never thought that.
Their competition in those games were not great, but still, they're still a unit. Like,
yeah.
Exactly. So it was. No. Let's move on to this Lakers Rockets series, which is not done. It is 3-2. The Lakers have a chance to close it out tonight, or the Rockets can be one of the few teams to push it to Game 7 after a 3-0. I'll just give my grade real quick. I put this as a B. I was a little bit taken aback because the Lakers jumping out to the 3-0 lead definitely surprised me. I thought the Rockets would at least get 1 or 2. Honestly, I thought without Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic, I thought the Rockets would be smoothly in the driver's seat of this series, and that just wasn't the case. But from a shock value, maybe that's an A, but the Rockets are starting to fight back now. And I'm going to be honest. I heard Kenny Beecham said this on another podcast too, and I kind of agree. When a team's down 3-0, and this is solely for the first round, like the Lakers, they win tonight, right? It's just like, why'd you even do the winning 2 games gimmick, bro? Just lose. Just lose so we can move on. So I feel like, look, if they win tonight, this bumps to an automatic A+++++. If they lose tonight, I'm giving it a C- because you're wasting my time now. That's how I feel. Them games don't end till like midnight over here.
Bro, over here too. Same. I'm like, damn, bro, when somebody lose.
Yeah, like Danny gets to watch these 10 p.m. Eastern time games with a little cocktail in his hand, and he get sun's out and whatever. Like, dang.
I want to be honest. I'm not a fan of that because that means 7 p.m. primetime East Coast games are at 4 o'clock. That sucks.
That is buns. The only time I can think of where your time zone would be like the move is specifically the 1 p.m. football slot.
Oh no, Sunday Night Football is money.
When I used to wake up, when I was a kid, I used to wake up so early. I have to wait so long for football to get started. I hated it. California boy, I wake up 9 a.m. Football starts in an hour. Let me get a workout in. Let me eat, and we're going.
Hey,
so, yeah.
Football might start at 7 a.m. for some weeks over in Germany.
Ooh, yeah, that is true. Chris, what are you thinking about your lifelong Los Angeles Lakers and the Rockets? What would you grade the series?
I hate everything about it. No, I'm kidding. I would say probably I'm gonna say a B. And the reason I say a B is because I want Kevin Durant to be in the series. I'm sure it changes the outcome. Maybe not wins and losses, but definitely gives you a different look. And I just hate that I haven't been able to see Brown versus KD. But everything else has been good hoops, in my opinion. Aiden's had some really good games. Everybody's pooped on Aiden all year, which he's earned. but he's been pretty good in these games. Jackson Hayes still can't catch. I don't know what's wrong with him, but he's been pretty good. I'm one of the biggest Rui haters of all time. He's actually been pretty decent. So I think it's been good from the Lakers side. I think sometimes, man, bringing players back, it'll mess something up. And I mean, Austin Reeves, yes, first game back, 4 for 18. He could have just not did that. Could have just had those shots go back to Kennard, Smart, and Rui and rock like that. But I think that was a good ramp-up game for ART. He comes back out and plays a lot better. Also, Tari Eason and Amin Thompson were making corner threes. They lost by 6. So, I mean, not that crazy. But as an overall series, I think it's been good. I think Jabari Smith made a good point. After Ime Udoka said they need to grow up, I think I've seen Jabari, Alpi, Reed, even and Amin kind of grow up in the series, like make better plays from game 1 to where they are now. Just not as many bonehead plays. Because honestly, if you look at it, it really should be tied. Should be going into it. Maybe the Rockets up 3-2 with the bonehead last 30 seconds for the Rockets that game. So I think it's been cool to watch a young team grow without their older statesman in KD. And it's been cool to watch an older statesman kind of keep it going without Luka and Reese for the most part. So I think it's been a dope series. Only reason I give it a B is because I wish I had more Kevin Durant basketball.
No matter that. That's part of my grade as well. Danny, what about you?
I give it a B-. The series has been good, but personally, this thing should have been wrapped up.
That's exactly where my mindset was.
It's like, I don't know. The Lakers are playing with their food. It feels like they're going to the lunchroom, just mashing things up. We all know Luka comes back like game 7 if need be. He's sitting there I think he's sitting there waiting in the shadow realms for.
Oh no, Danny, you must not see that update, bro. They say he's not even moving. Like he's still like not on crutches, obviously, but he's like not moving.
He's not moving. He is paralyzed.
He's a vegetable.
Yeah, they say like he can't even do like a jog or anything. He might be cooked for the whole. And they say expect him to miss the Thunder series if they do make it. So he's cooked.
The Lakers are cooked. I hope the Lakers lose then.
Oh, I mean, they were going to lose with Luka. They were going to lose with.
No. Talk about because Danny, now you're not using your brain. LeBron being the first person to blow a 3-0 series, I'm taking my head smooth off.
Oh yeah, I forgot they were at 3-0. Yeah.
No, I remember Stephen A. Smith just said the other day they don't count Michael Jordan's year, so I just won't count this year because no Luka, no Reeves. I'll literally not count it because Stephen A. Smith told me dead to my face, we don't count Michael Jordan years. Those are just years we enjoy watching them. Okay, same logic. I will apply it. I will.
Don't count Michael Jordan years. What does that mean?
They said we don't count them. What do you mean? Bet if y'all don't count them, guess what? I don't count the finals losses then. He's 4-0. How about that?
They were just, they were just having fun, man. They were playing Bronny out there.
They're playing Lacticus.
They were undefeated with Bronny plays, by the way. Just saying.
But they want to play
if he just has to be on the court for 5 minutes to give LeBron this extra boost.
That's all he needs.
You know we're getting Ruby 40 ball tonight, though.
If JJ was smart, this is what he would do. He would start Bronny. First play, backdoor oop, Bron to Bronny, then sub him. That's all the energy he needs.
That's really all we need. Actually, I say play Bronny until he makes a mistake. But
I say play Bronny 48 minutes because I watched Nick Smith. I watched Marcus Smart throw behind the back pass on the screen and roll. It went straight out of bounds. I know Bronny won't do that.
See, that's unfortunately the life you got to live with Marcus Smart.
Hey, all right, before we move on, bro, I've been telling Freddie, I'm like, because she's a Cavs fan. I'm like, ooh, I love you having this James Harden experience. What's the James Harden experience? Third quarter. Why has he only made 3 shots? There it is. He's like, he has 7 turnovers. There it is. He was just playing so good. The James Harden experience. That is literally what it is. Right there. And she asked, does Jared Allen really love basketball? I said, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I doubt it.
Well, that's a perfect transition. We can go into Cavs Raptors if you'd like. Chris, let's start with you, obviously, because you and Freddie are witnessing the James Harden experience together for the first time.
I love it.
Well, you know what it is. You're experiencing it with the misses for the first time. What would you grade this series?
Oh, A+, bro, and part of it being A+, bro, just watching her be so amazed at the stuff that's going on, bro, it's hilarious. One thing she was like, "Did Evan Mobley work on his threes over the summer? Why does he only shoot threes?" I said, "That's basketball for you." But I think it's an A+ though, because I think he's been some good hoops, and I think he's seen some unsung heroes play big games. Colin Murray Boyles has played really, really good. Sandro has played really, really good. Battle has played good. Then you got a good minutes out of Strus. You got a good minutes out of Schroeder. I think it's been a lot of unsung heroes playing well. But my favorite part of it is Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes, if he plays this aggressive, he's a top 15 player, like Charles Barkley said. He just has to be aggressive. Because and during the regular season, a lot of time I think Tony, you might have spoke to it. He's just more trying to play point guard, even when there's a point guard out there. Like, no, bro, you're 6'9", very athletic, very strong. Like he can. Scotty Barnes could literally average 22, 12, and 5, and I would not be surprised if he played, you know what I mean, this aggressive, because he's that type of guy. He's been balling. And he's a matchup nightmare. So I've been loving seeing Donovan Mitchell break out. I mean, not Donovan Mitchell, Scotty Barnes, like, have games in the playoffs where people can understand his star is only shining, only growing. So that's been one of my favorite parts. Guys, just show some love to RJ Barrett. He's been very consistent in this series. So I think that's been cool to see, because I'm an RJ Barrett hater, as you know. But it's only because I'm a Cam Reddish lifer, and RJ Barrett's having a way better career to him. But I think it's been really cool, man. I think it's been a closer series than people expected. So I just been enjoying it. So I give it an A+. I think these are one of the series I look forward to every game, because I think it's been something different. You've had a Jacoby Walter, I forgot. You had Jacoby Walter games. So I mean, it's just been really cool to see the team on each side kind of showing out.
Yeah. Danny, what about your grade for this series?
I think it's been one of my favorite playoff series to watch overall. I'm going to grade it an A. It has some super athletic people in it. It has some great scorers and Mitchell and Harden, and you saw the Raptors go right back at them at their neck. So everything you want out of a basketball game, you can get in this series. You can get high level defending, you can get high level scoring, you can get the 3-ball. Whereas like some series, like you knew what you're getting. You knew that you're getting a team that's going to sit there and have to, like you said with the Blazers, get 3-and-D wings and not much else. But this series, both teams have a lot of everything, and that's why I think it's so fun. I think the winner of this series is a legit chance to come out of the East, though.
Sorry, I was messed up for a second. Yeah, I would agree on that last part. The East is as open as it's ever been. I think at this moment, I think you would have to say it runs through maybe the Knicks, but we'll talk about them in a little bit. I give this series an A+, man. I thought a lot of people were talking about, like, what series could you see a first round upset in, and a lot of people were talking about this Cavs Raptors series. I'm like, honestly, I didn't see it originally. Like, I thought, like, okay, Harden usually plays good in the first round. Donovan Mitchell is a very good playoff player. So yeah, like Donovan Mitchell is a great playoff player. James Harden usually shows up in the first round. So I just figured that this series would be taken care of, but the Raptors did a great job. Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett specifically did a great job fighting back, getting those 2 home games, and they have a chance to get their third one tonight. So we'll see how that goes. I would really like if we get another Jamal Shed game. He had 17 last game, or I think he had 17 or 18 last game. He had 18.7 assists last game. So, if you can get that kind of level of shooting from him, it's very hard to lose 2 of those in a row. So we'll see how it plays out for Raptors Cavs. This has been a great series. Let's talk about Knicks versus Hawks.
Game 6.
The Knicks won in 6 games. They absolutely curb stomped the Hawks in the last 2. So, or you can say the last 3 games, really. So, I gave this series a C+. I'll give it a B-. A B-. The Hawks gave us a little bit of fun in those second and third games with the game winners from CJ McCollum. They really seemed like you could have made it seem like they had the Knicks on the ropes for for what it was worth. But when you kind of zoom back, it's like, okay, they won on a couple game winners, and the Knicks weren't playing their best ball, and then you kind of see the talent discrepancy over the last 3 games, especially when they were let Cat be the primary playmaker. Always been an underrated passer. And guys like OG and McHale step up. You're never going to win when both of them are on. Unfortunately, if you are the other team, if both OG and McHale are playing well, you're never going to win because Jalen Brunson is automatically going to be on. So yeah, I gave us a B-. It was a cool little series. The Hawks gave us little moments and whatnot, but I didn't think Jalen Johnson played up to the standard I thought I held him to. Nickeil Alexander-Walker didn't play up to his regular season standard, and CJ McCollum kind of cooled off a little bit after that game winner. So,
just fair. It's playoffs. It's hard.
Yeah,
Knicks is a better team,
and
Knicks is a better team coming in. We knew it, so I don't think many people give the Hawks that much of a chance.
I think a lot of people picked them to be, if anybody was going to have an upset, it was either going to be them or the Wolves. I think that's what a lot of people thought kind of going in.
Yeah, I mean, the
not
Wolves
including the 4-5 matchups because that's a coin toss. But
yeah, the Wolves did it without their best player.
Wolves did it without a lot of guys.
Without the best 2 players.
Yeah, Io is their second best player.
Chris,
ranking Wolves players based on how close they live to Chicago. Number 1.
How much aura they have?
Io's 1. Terrence Shannon close 2 because he's from the suburbs, but we claim him. He's actually not from. He played in the suburbs, then he played in the city. We claim.
I think you should get more points if you went to Illinois, though.
100%. Terrence Shannon went to Illinois too, just like
that's what I'm saying. And then he got his jersey retired upside down. But
that is U of I in a nutshell. I'll say, damn it. Let's see. I'm sad about it, low key, because I thought the Hawks were going to put up more of a fight. I expected more out of Jalen Johnson too. Y'all know I'm going to do 4 lifer. That hurt me. That hurt me watching that. Putting Josh Hart on Jalen Johnson, watching him shut him down, literally brought tears to my eyes. Dyson Daniels, it's not even about shooting the ball. You have to make yourself a threat because Rondo didn't shoot beginning of his career as a Celtics fan. Tony might be able to speak to this. He didn't shoot from deep, but he ate the space up. As soon as you didn't close out, 2 or 3 really hard dribbles to the paint, and now you have to guard. Dyson Daniels probe dribbles around the 3-point line, gets into the mid-range, and doesn't even look to shoot. Even though Rondo wasn't trying to shoot, he wasn't scared to. He had floaters, up and unders, a lot of moves. I think that Daniels should watch a lot of Rondo, especially when you have other guys around that can do other things. Nickeil can score. CJ can score. Jalen Johnson should be able to score. Okongwu can score enough. He should look at that because he was actually unplayable, but he had the plays they didn't have anybody else to put in there. So it just was bad. It was really, really bad. And Jalen Johnson didn't help himself either. So I was a little disappointed. I figured I want a little bit more. But I am happy to see first option Cat hoops because Becky Hammond wasn't wrong. Jalen Brunson cannot be your 1A, unfortunately. He's not. He cannot be your 1A. Even though he can be the best player, but he can't be the one who it goes through. Just can't be. And I think they found that out with Cat. I think everybody got more involved that way. Michael even came back to life. Hart was doing his thing. OG, ultimate playoff riser at this point. I've never seen him play like that, like he played yesterday. So yeah, some good moments, but I just expected more of a fight from the Hawks.
Yeah, every time in the playoffs, OG becomes Kawhi Leonard, except you sub out the electric 3-point shooting that Kawhi gets, and then implement like a 40-inch vert. OG's been hooping, man. So shout out to him. Let's talk about what's probably one a lot of people may argue has been the best playoff series up to this point. The Celtics versus the Sixers. The Celtics had the Sixers dead in the water. 3-1, just blew them smooth out with you're from California, bud. Relax. You're a Westbrook fan, by the way.
John.
You're a Westbrook fan, by the way. You only like to see you're a Westbrook fan. You're a Thunder fan. You should have kept it that way. You'd probably be happier. Said you're a chud. Anyway, yeah, Celtics had them dead in the water, blew them out with Embiid coming back, and then the Sixers steal one in the Garden, and then they win their home game, and now it's going to a Game 7 on Saturday. So I guess we can start with Danny, who has no affiliation to this series because he's a Westbrook fan. How would you grade this series?
Personally,
you're a Ja fan. Sorry, you're a Ja fan now. Sorry.
What y'all do? He said no. Shaw said
Yeah,
no, not
y'all
again.
didn't know that? Danny's a big bandwagon. Y'all didn't know that? Yes, he is. Nothing new though. Did y'all know that he is cheating? He cheated on his lifelong Pittsburgh Penguins for some Flyers. Ooh, that's crazy. Could it be me? Lifelong Flyers fan, by the way.
Lifelong Flyers fan right there.
Started watching hockey like last week.
He doesn't know what hockey is. He just
No,
he
bro, I know
likes the
Cam York.
vibes.
I know
Like
Cam
the
York.
8th best player in the team.
A game winner. Whatever.
CJ McCollum hit a game winner.
Facts. Derek White hit a game winner. What that mean?
He's like the bench player in the team this year. Clearly.
Hey, we don't care about none of that. Anyway, what's your grade for this Celtics Sixers series?
This is the A+. And I'm not even saying like as a fan. I'm just saying as vibes. Like in terms of playoff basketball, we have seen intensity from both sides. When the Celtics are on, they're shooting 45-50% from three, and they're blowing the hell out of the Sixers. And when the Sixers are on, you're getting playoff Paul George back again.
You're doing what?
You what?
You what?
You're getting playoff Paul.
Anyway, sorry, Danny, not to cut you off. That was just crazy.
These announcers love calling him playoff P. And that was an insult for years. And maybe it's not anymore. Paul George has found his game in Philly. And someone said, if you slot in this version of Paul George anywhere from 2019 to 2024, the Sixers have one ring by now for Tobias Harris.
See, this will always be my problem. You always look back on those years and be like, if we replaced our fourth best player
with Paul George, yeah.
What if your best player just played better? What if your best players just played better? Whenever the Celtics, whenever shit hits the fan for the Celtics, you'll never see me be like, "Come on, Al Horford." That's dumb. That's dumb.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
It's always Tatum and Brown. They'll always take the forefront of the blame, especially Jaylen Brown.
As a member of the Celtics fan club, is this the last? If the Celtics lose on Sunday or Saturday, is this the last time we see the Jays play together?
Well, it'll be the last time I see them because I'll be jumping off a bridge. So whatever happens after that, I don't really care. I'll be taking a swan dive off the Commodore Bridge. So,
wow.
No, but to realistically answer your question, I would say yes. This has been the second playoffs, not the second. Just think, okay, there have been two very noticeable moments in the Jays' time together where it's like, okay, Jaylen Brown, we need you to step up. The first time was Game 7 against Miami when we came back down from 3-0. Tatum hurts himself, literally first play of the game, which I will always put it out there. If he did not roll his ankle and that ball went in, if he started the game on an M1, we were winning by 50. But point is, he gets hurt on the first play of the game. Tatum literally tells him, we need everything you've got because I've got nothing. Like, I can't walk correctly. Jaylen Brown returns the favor by turning the ball over, I think, 8 times. And that's where the big left-handed meme comes in. And it was true. He was dealing with a wrist injury. If you know that, don't go left. Don't even try to go left. Bully ball your way with your right. The second instance was, I won't count last year against the Knicks. We were kind of already dead in the water. So I don't want to put too much of that on him. This year, Tatum's coming back off an Achilles. This is his first time in the playoffs. I will still put some blame towards Jason Tatum for letting them get back in the series. However, last night specifically, Jason Tatum was playing good. Jason Tatum was playing good before he hurt his calf. But even before he hurt his calf, Jaylen Brown has this weird idea, and this was the same as last game going down the stretch. He has this weird idea that if his offense is not going, if he's unable to create the separation he wants, he resorts to pushing off and not passing the ball. he forces his offense so unbelievably bad. And that's kind of why in the Celtics fan base, a lot of people talk about, well, whenever someone slanders Tatum, it's, how do I put it? If you slander Tatum in the Celtics fan base, it's okay. If you slander Jaylen Brown, you're a Tatum fan. So there's that. And there are a lot of people like to say, like when people talk about, oh, who's better, Tatum or Brown? A lot of people like to say, well, we have both. Why does it matter? This is the reason why it matters. Because Jaylen Brown got to play this whole season as number one option in the regular season where you don't exactly have the proper time to prepare for somebody. He gets away with having 29 points per game because you can't game plan for him. In a 7-game series against Nick Nurse, who Sixers fans may have their thoughts on him, one thing he knows how to do is draw up a defensive game plan on a guy. And he's completely taken Jaylen Brown out of the series the last couple games. This is why it matters, because you let it get to his head that he was even remotely a top 5 player in the league. Not even close. Not even close. And when Giannis is on my team this summer, boy, just get the parade tickets ready. I'll be damned if Giannis and Tatum don't win an NBA Finals.
You becoming a Hornets fan?
No.
I know you were coming
over. Going to the Spurs, all right? Did you see my tweet last night? I said I put the Spurs team hashtag, which is Poor Vita. I said hashtag Poor Vita, and it was the Bruce Jeff. He said, got room for one more? I'm out, bro. We on the Spurs. Anyway, I rambled enough. Chris, what's your grade for this series?
A+. And I give it A+ because the stars are shining, man. Embiid came back. He's been shining. Even though I'm gonna down the hill that Embiid and Maxey and Edgecombe will not succeed with Embiid. He's playing really well, and he's been the one kind of helping them stay in the series after VJ's big game to get that one win. It's been Embiid, but also I think sometimes we get too lost in role players, which obviously you do need role players, you do need them. But Derek White playing ass isn't as important as Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum not being great, in my opinion. I think people are pointing Derek White. Oh, well, he's only averaging 12 points. He's shooting 20% from three. He's the third best player at best. At best. So trying to blame him is ridiculous. I think even they said Edgecombe slowed down when the Embiid came back. He's your third, fourth best guy. So I think
and they're fine with it.
And no, I'm saying though, but that should be how it is. It should be you welcome what you get from your role guys, but you expect from your stars. And I think for me, why I grade the series so high, I think the stars have shined for the most part, and they've lost with the stars. And I think that's how it should be. Playoffs, you should depend on your best guys. And I've seen them win and lose games in this series. I think that's been pretty cool. Shout out to Embiid for fighting back and being out there, and not just being out there. He's been effective for the most part. So just looking forward to a dogfight. Because it's Celtics first of all, so usually, even when the games aren't close, usually a dogfight. I'm expecting a really, really close game. And we don't have to have Doc Rivers in the way on either side, Celtics or Sixers, so I'm really looking forward to it.
You know what's interesting, Chris? You said you expect a close game, but this series has an average margin of victory of 20 points.
And it's so ridiculous because I feel like even though it's so far away, it feels like it's been close.
They have been.
Close.
It's a 9-point game.
2 of the 3 Sixers wins, the Sixers kind of pulled away later in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, like with 4 minutes left.
And then 2 of the 3 Celtics wins, those were just flat out blowouts.
Mm-hmm.
And they had that one close game in game 3. Hope you're ready for another Tatum 50 ball. That or you're losing one of your closest friends.
That or we're getting game 7 Celtics versus Heat.
Okay, so you're just wishing my best player gets hurt? Oh my God.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
Some people said it's malpractice if he goes out there and plays on Saturday.
It's malpractice.
That's what some people are saying.
Who are these people? Twitter geeks, you dumbass?
Nah, Joel Embiid.
We're trusting Twitter geeks now. Twitter geeks are the epitome of what's malpractice in fucking NBA locker rooms.
Nah.
You know what's fucking malpractice? Sending a dude out there who just had appendix surgery like 2 fucking seconds ago. And a dude whose knee looks like fucking 3,000-year-old tree bark. That's malpractice. You want to talk about fucking malpractice? That's malpractice. Fuck out of here. Series has been an A+ though, for sure. I wish I could take my emotions out of it and enjoy it from a third party standpoint, but physically enabled. But I'm gonna assume it's an A+ if you truly don't give a fuck. Let's get this last series out of the way with Pistons versus Magic. Probably been my favorite series. I got Cade Cunningham on one side. I got Paolo on the other.
Dropping 45.
These are two of my favorite non-Celtics in the entire NBA. You got the Angel Reese boys going at it. This series caters to everyone. It caters to the ball. It caters to spreadsheet FC because they're probably on the biggest "I told you so" rant ever, both ways, because both these offenses stink. The ball don't lie FC because Paolo and Cade have been playing great. So stat sheet FC can't say anything. And the series is for the girls because of Wendell Carter and Jalen Duren going at it. This is literally for everybody. This is the people series. This is why I have to give it an A+. Shock value, 8th seed. The Orlando Magic were dead in the water after that Sixers game. They were going to blow it all up. Franz is out. Fuck, Paolo might be out. So everybody going. They beat the brakes off the Charlotte Hornets, but it's like, you know what? Young Hornets team, that's whatever. They're probably going to get smoked by the Pistons. And then game 1 happens, and you kind of realize, oh, wow, their styles make fights. And they play the same brand of basketball. And if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty, the Magic are more talented. They're a more talented team. They just don't work as well together. But for this series, they've made it happen. I give it an A+ for sure. I've had a great time watching this. The Pistons have a great chance to force a Game 7 tonight. We'll see how that goes, but that's where I stand at the moment. I also will say I did super plan on coming into the show and ranting about how Franz is out the game and watch how Paolo cooks. The only problem is him being out. Let Cade do that. So it's a double-edged sword. Franz was probably going to get his face cooked in, but probably wasn't going to get 45 dropped on him, if I had to guess.
My
but
question
it does
is,
open up the floor for Paolo.
I have a question for you, Tony. Now I have a question because
Yeah.
I think that's much better without Franz. What the fuck is Jalen Suggs' purpose? What is his purpose? If he can't stop anybody from getting points, he's supposed to be a defensive specialist. He can't shoot. What is his purpose? Why is he still starting?
He's on his little Derek White tour, right? He can't shoot. He cannot do that. But what I think he's done well this series is play passing lanes. And I think he's honestly part of the reason why Jalen Duren has been so bad because he's just a super disruptive help defender. The only problem is you're 6'3". I don't need a help defender. I need you to guard up. The only problem is what would be his matchup is 6'7" Cade Cunningham. So it's like not the easiest matchup in the world, unfortunately. Let's see. He made 2 threes. Oh my God, he went 1 for 11 from 3.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. But why is he out
3
there?
3 for 8, 3 for 10, 3
Playing
for 10.
help
I will say this though. I think an important piece of him at least getting the shots up, it creates some level of spacing in a way.
You have to guard it.
They're not all open threes, but it was funny when I think Paolo hit like a big shot in like game 4, I think. And him and Suggs looked at each other like, it starts with us. I'm like, whoa, this is where the locker room's at? These are the best 2 guys, not Paolo and Franz?
I have no idea what the fuck that was. It made my stomach hurt. It made my stomach hurt, actually.
You're saying Jalen Suggs made your stomach hurt? That is quite the analysis. Danny, let's start with let's go to you on this one. What's your grade for this Pistons Magic series? I think he might be muted. Biggest of
bros. We were. As if we couldn't get better than Sixers versus Celtics. It's pretty damn close. This is pure cinema, as I said. It's been dogfight back and forth. You're getting 45 points from the 2 best players on each team. It feels like, you know, I'm going to make this comparison. I don't know if you guys see it the same way I do. It feels like a NCAA college basketball March Madness game. Every game feels like
the level of basketball is bad.
No, parts of it are, but the way it's just like Paulo and Cade coming down the court, and they're like, "All right, this is my team. I'm gonna go do what I have to do." And that's usually what happens in March Madness. The best player gets the ball and is like, "All right, I'm gonna go cook." And
Yeah, to an extent. I think though, just because they are two entirely different games. Like there have been 10-point leads in this series that have just been wiped to the wayside. Even the worst NBA offenses, spacing wise, can get back in a game with a couple made threes. Whereas college basketball, I ain't gonna lie, in the tournament, I see like an 11-point lead, and I'm like, oh, yeah, this might be over. Unless like if the better team is down, then like, they're gonna come back and win. But
yeah, the series has been fantastic. I would love to see a Orlando Magic advance, and you know what? I could see the Orlando Magic making Eastern Conference Finals if they advance.
who would they play? They would play the winner of Raptors Cavs, which is probably the best draw they could get. I don't want to get ahead of myself with the Pistons or with the Magic. I want to just assume that they got a really good draw in the first round with the play style. Then we'll talk about the next series when it gets
I
there,
mean,
if they get there. But
they took that Cavs team to 7. What, 2 years ago? Last year?
2 years ago, it's a different ball club. Last time they played in the playoff, Jason Tatum wasn't a champion yet.
He was mentally.
A long time ago.
As Kanye said, when you realize that you are a champion.
In their eyes. Funny, at the Vitamin Shop, we played the sample to that song on like the radio. So every time they get to the beat, they're like, "You are a champion." Yes, I did. and like, but that's not what happens. They just play the sample. Chris, what about you? What's your grade on this Pistons Magic series?
I give it an A. I think one thing that I said before is more like a 4 or 5 than 1A as far as just styles. And I think one of y'all just said it, but styles do make fights, man. And this is why it's been such a close series. It's just two physical teams with not a blazing offense compared to 2026 NBA. But they have two really, really good players, two number 1 picks playing like it. And the NCAA players have been good in spots. Anthony Black should be the starting point guard for the Magic. I've been saying this for 2 years now. Asar Thompson showing his worth, being able to be effective without being able to shoot the ball from more than 4 feet away. It's been beautiful. He had 14 rebounds last game, something like that. He's been rebounding with the way Durant's playing. I damn near play Asar at center sometimes. Him and Beef Stew, I damn near have them out there. He's been just making himself available. I think the Pistons are missing Marcus Sasser a lot too. I know it's a small cog in the whole thing, but I think he's being missed a lot. I love it. I love the hoops have been physical. There's been some scoring. There's been some big games people didn't expect it from. So I'm really, really intrigued. I hope it goes 7, just because I think this has been the best series of the first round by far. Just the most competitive, with the Raptors Cavs being a close second. So yeah, just hoping for a game 7. I think both these teams deserve to go out there and have one game to decide it all.
Yeah.
What I'm asking you for is, can you give me one more day?
Can you give me one more day? But that's everything from us. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Audio listeners, leave a like, 5-star review from AP New Freezer, coached by Migos DC Comics. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next week.